All right, this is Mr. Gillum, and today we're going to learn about dividing fractions with mixed numbers. And so hopefully all those fraction problems with division that you saw with mixed numbers that you weren't sure how to do, you'll know how to do after this. So I've just picked 3 problems to do. And where you left off yesterday on your worksheet, I had you do the front page and then the first 10 problems on the back of the front page. Problem number 1, 2, and 3 are on the back of the second page. Those are pulled right from your worksheet. So please take a second to pause the video, get your worksheet out, and turn it to these problems. And then work through these together with me so you can figure out how to do the rest of your homework here in a second. So on problem number 1, the first thing I notice is it's 6 8/12 divided by 1/12. So as soon as I see that divide, I know I'm going to have to change it to multiplication and find the reciprocal of 1/12. But similarly to when I multiply fractions, I'm going to look for things that I can reduce before I do anything else. Okay? And so one way I could start this problem is by taking 6 times 12 plus 8, or 12 times 6 plus 8, and changing it to a mixed number. Not a mixed number, an improper fraction. I know, because I've done a lot of these problems before, that the bigger the numbers, the harder it is to work with these numbers. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to look for things that I can reduce. Now I see this fraction 8/12 here, and I know that 4 goes both into 8 and into 12. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the problem. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write this problem again, except for with the new fraction. So instead of an 8, I'm going to use a 2. And instead of the 12, I'm going to use a 3. 4 goes into 8 twice and into 12 3 times. So I'm going to change it to 6 2/3 divided by 1/12. So now already my numbers have gotten a little smaller, and it's going to be a little easier to work with. But still I have that mixed number there. Before I do my division, now in addition and subtraction, you can kind of get away with that big number in front. In multiplication and division, you cannot. You have to change the mixed number into an improper fraction. So I'm going to look at the 6 2/3 here, and I'm going to change it to an improper fraction by saying 3 times 6 plus 2. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 2 is 20. So I'm going to say 20/3. 20/3 and 6 2/3 are the same amount, written different ways. Okay, I'm going to rewrite the problem the same exact way, divided by 1/12. And now I have a fraction divided by a fraction, which is what I'm familiar with calculating on the beginning of my worksheet. So now that I have fraction divided by fraction, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it again. 20/3. Instead of division, I'm going to change it to multiplication, and I'm going to use the reciprocal of 1/12, which is 12/1. So again, I've now moved it from mixed number and a fraction to fraction and a fraction, from division to multiplication. So now I just have a multiplication problem. I'm going to think reduce, reduce, above and below, cross reduce, cross reduce. Now the only thing I see I can cross reduce is the 3 and the 12. 3 goes into 3 once and into 12 4 times. All that's left now is multiplication straight across. 20 times 4 is 80. And 1 times 1 is 1. 80/1, the best answer is 80. 80 divided by 1 is 80 still. Okay, so there's your first example. I'm going to do this next problem similarly. Okay, I'm going to check to see if I can make the numbers smaller before I begin my division process. So when I see this 6/8 by this one, I know that 6 and 8 are both even numbers, therefore 2 must go into both 6 and 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Any even number 2 will go into. So I'm going to rewrite this problem as 1 3/4. Change that 6 to a 3 and that 8 to a 4. So now 2 goes into 6 3 times and into 8 4 times. Then I'm going to leave my divide sign. I'm also going to look at this fraction. I notice that again I have 2 even numbers. So instead of 2/8, let's change it to 1/4. And so now what I've done is I've made myself an easier problem. The numbers are smaller but still equivalent. So my next step is I'm going to change this mixed number into an improper fraction. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 is 7. 7/4. 7/4 and 1 3/4 are the same amount, written different ways. Divided by 1/4. So now I'm getting closer to changing my division into multiplication. I no longer have any mixed numbers, and I made the numbers as small as they're going to get before I multiply. I'm going to rewrite this problem now as 7/4 times 4 over 1. I can reduce, reduce, cross reduce. I know that 4 goes into 4 one time, and then multiply straight across. 7 times 1 is 7, and 1 times 1 is 1. So my best answer would be 7. 7 divided by 1 is still 7. Again, one more problem, number 3. And again, I want to reiterate that this is on the back of your worksheet, the first page. Right where I left off yesterday, we're going to pick that up right now. And those first 3 problems are on this specific video. This time, when I look at my 9 1/2 and divided by 1/2, I know that there's nothing I can reduce. So I'm going to go straight from, instead of reducing like I did on this and this one, number 1 and number 2, I'm just going to go straight into changing my mixed number into an improper fraction. 2 times 9 plus 1, 19 over 2, divided by 1/2. So I've actually skipped this step right here because I know that I already have the numbers in simplest form. Now I'm going to rewrite the problem as 19 over 2 multiplied by 2 over 1. Dividing by half and multiplying by 2 are the same thing because there are 2 halves in every whole. So here we go. Let's reduce, reduce, cross reduce, and then multiply. 19 times 1 is 19, and 1 times 1 is 1. So my best answer would be 19. So as you do more of these problems, they'll get much easier for you to do. If you see a mixed number in any of the problems with division, you need to first change it to an improper fraction. If you notice that something will reduce before you divide, make the number smaller and it'll be much easier for you to multiply. All right, so that's it for today.